You want to listen to a podcast?
By who?
Georgia GOP Congressman Doug Collins.
How is it?
The greatest thing I have ever heard in my whole life.
I could not believe my ears.
In this house, wherever the rules are disregarded, chaos and mob rule. It has been said today, where is bravery? I'll tell you where bravery is found and courage is found. It's found in this minority who has lived through the last year of nothing but rules being broken, people being put down, questions not being answered. And this majority say, be damned with anything else. We're going to impeach and do whatever we want to do. Why? Because we won an election. I guarantee you, one day you'll be back in the minority and it ain't gonna be that fun. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Doug Collins Podcast. Glad you're with us. It's Friday. Friday's finest is upon us. It is a great time to be alive, unless you're frankly suffering in the heat of Texas, which James, I'm sure, will opine about here shortly. Folks, lots still going on. Congress is still a mess and dealing with the National Defense Authorization Act in the House. Look, if you think that the chaos is going to continue, this is a bill that normally passes, and I talked about this earlier in the week, is a bill that passes normally with bipartisan support. It passes with both Republicans and Democrats. You'll have a few on both sides that won't vote for it, but at the end of the day, it's typically this is the policy that's set for our military. So you typically have pretty good response. Now, because of going back and forth, and frankly, I think some of what the Democrats and Biden have done in the military in previous NDAAs, especially dealing with some social issues, abortion, other things like that, this has now become the Republicans' turn to go the opposite way. So you're looking at a bill now that probably will pass with little to no Democrat support unless they kill. Unless in Democrats' opinion, they kill a lot of amendments on the floor. So we'll see how that works. Again, Biden in Europe, we said that was going to be a real hootenanny, and guess what? He didn't disappoint. He looked lost most of the time. King Charles had to encourage him on down the line when they were reviewing the troops. Just Joe Biden on the world stage. So we get what we get there. Is going forward. But also looking ahead here on the Doug Collins Podcast, we're going to get into Friday's finest. Got ESPY Awards, got All-Star Game. We got Andy the dog from Dallas. And there's some things that we're going to be talking about football as we go forward. But just as a preview coming up, we got Chan Gailey. Coach will be back with us next week on the Doug Collins Podcast, ready to talk football. We're less than a week away from the rookies and certain veterans showing up at training camps in the NFL. You're less than about 2 weeks from the college teams hitting the practice fields again. So a lot to talk about as we go with Coach when he's back on with us next week. And as we go forward, Tom Homan's in the future. Also, Matt Whitaker coming back on. We got a lot to go. Trying to work on also getting Michael Waddell. Got hunting season not 100 days away. Got to get ready for that as well. So lots to talk about here on the Doug Collins Podcast. But now, after the break, you know what it is. It's Friday's finest. Hey, everybody, you know about Legacy Precious Metals. Legacy Precious Metals, you hear from them. We talk once a month. We talk about Legacy Precious Metals, talking about precious metals being part of your portfolio, how they're your navigator. Well, now they're not only navigating in a new way, they're actually giving you a new way to buy gold and silver. In fact, Legacy Precious Metals has developed a revolutionary new online platform that allows you to invest in real gold and silver online. In a few easy steps, you can open an account online, select your metals of choice, and choose to have them stored in a vault or shipped to your door. I'm more of a ship to my door kind of person. I enjoy having them with me, but they can do it either way, and you can now do it online. It gives you real access to a dashboard where you can track your portfolio growth in real time, anytime. You'll see transparent pricing on each coin and bar. This puts you in complete control of your money. This platform is free to sign up for. Just visit legacypminvestments.com and open your account and see this new investing platform for yourself. Gold hedges against inflation and is against a volatile stock market. A true diversified portfolio isn't just more stocks and bonds, but a different asset class. This platform allows you to make investments in gold and silver, no matter how small or large, with just a few clicks. Remember, do as I have done. Go to legacypminvestments.com and get started today. And now you've got a new tool to help you along in your investments. Hey folks, MyPillow is excited to bring to you their biggest bedding sale ever. For a limited time, you're going to get the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98, a set of pillowcases for only $9.98, and rejuvenate your bed with a MyPillow mattress topper for as low as $99.99. $99.99. Get a mattress, pillow topper. Look, they come in all sizes. They got all kinds of stuff, blankets. They've got duvets. They've got quilts. They got comforters. They got body pillows. They got bolster pillows. They got all at big, big discounts. And also, they're extending their money-back guarantee for Christmas until March 1, 2023, making them the perfect gift for your friends, your family, and for everyone you know. Folks, and just from a personal note here, I have the Giza Dream Sheets. They're on my bed right now. I slept on them last night. Some of the best sheets that we and Lisa and I have ever owned. They are worth, I mean, at this price, they're a steal. My wife and I have bought bed sheets, linens at much higher cost. It's supposedly much higher quality. These from MyPillow are at the highest of quality, and at a price like this, you can't beat it. So go now to mypillow.com, use promo code Collins, COLLINS, or call 1-800-986-3994, and you'll get huge discounts on all the MyPillow bedding products, including the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98, and get all your shopping done while qualities last. And remember, put in that promo code Collins for these discounts. All right, we're here, Friday's Finest. I'm glad to be back, as always, on Friday's Finest, and we have James, our Texan by way of New Jersey, is with us today. James, and my understanding, this is still like a Katy Perry song in Texas. Everything goes outside and melts the popsicle, right?
Wow, that's a perfect explanation. You know what I was thinking about? That I could, every time I could, because I was listening to the intro, I feel like every time I can come on here, I can have like that, the world's smallest violin playing, you know, that sad sound. And then I just talk about the heat in Texas in a very Shakespearean way. Like, you know, just like it was dark. It was 280 degrees. We couldn't make it outside. You know, something like out of a movie. Because I can't. It's so silly because I know that like there are people dying and sad and hungry and all that stuff, but it doesn't compare to my situation. And I'll tell you why. Because.
Yeah, and everybody, let's make sure that we understand. James is not digging ditches in Dallas, okay?
No, it's so crazy. Like, it's funny because I don't remember. I live as some people know who listen to this show, is that I was born and raised in New Jersey. So we've had hot days, and we're like, all right, stay indoors. But
oh my God,
we've had legitimate hot days. All right, they've existed. They're one time. Listen, they're one time.
Yeah, one
maybe
day
twice
year.
a summer, where you're like, all right, don't go outside because you're a child and you could die.
It's 88
outside
degrees.
Of that, yeah, outside of like the 100 and I think we have like a couple, maybe twice a year. It's 100 to 102, whatever. The rest of the time, though, it is, you know, your kid is outside, especially when you're a kid, not as much as an adult, but like go out, come back in about 18 hours, and dinner will be ready. That's the summer motto. What do kids do in Texas? Do they? Is it just like, has it always been like, don't go outside, you'll die? Like we have stuff at the house. Like I'm not even trying to be funny about it. Like I am genuinely curious. Like, is there indoor stuff for kids to do? I mean, you've lived in Georgia. I can't imagine it's much. I don't know what the summers are like there, but I'm assuming it's not cold.
No, look, Georgia's a different state in the sense that we have, it's very similar to Texas. I mean, there's elevation changes. The start of the Appalachian Trail is up not far from my house. So, I mean, I'm in the foothills. Now, we still get up even in my part of the world, we'll get 90, 95, 100 degrees on lake and up in the mountains. It'll get up into 80s and 90s. It's hot. But we have humidity. Humidity is our big issue, just like in Florida. And other places are in the South. Now, you get further south, like where I have my Air Force training base is Robbins Air Force Base, Warner Robins, Georgia. And, you know, south of Atlanta, really the weather is not a lot of difference, you know, from there down to Miami. It's hot, it's humid, it's indexes, you know, most of the summer your heat indexes are triple digits or high 90s. So you get with
I hate that heat index thing.
Oh, yeah. And here's the big thing, though. You mentioned about kids. We played in this when I was a kid. I mean, we went outside anyway. Okay.
And that's the thing. Like you go outside in the heat, but like, I don't know. I think if you let your kids out right now, you should have your kids taken away as a parent.
No, but you know, look, give them a water hose in the front yard and let them go out. But
we can't do that anymore. You can't.
Yeah,
can you?
Is
it even legal to let your kid drink out of the hose anymore?
Well, it better be. I mean, it's like, I mean,
I was just thinking, I was like, our parents did it, but I don't see anybody else doing it anymore. I'm sure there's plenty.
When and if I'm sure my boys are listening to this, and girls, when and if I have grandkids, they will learn to drink from a hose. They will learn to, that they don't have to do all this, weird stuff that is. I have to share you one that came out the other day. This was pretty freaking hilarious, and it was talking about what we're talking about here about, generational stuff and, going outside. Here is, let me find this again. Okay. This is the saying. It was off of Instagram. I saw this. Some of y'all come from the "if you quit crying, I'll buy you something" generation. We came from the "if you don't quit crying, I'll give you something to cry about" generation. That's me.
No, go ahead.
But this is like, come on, folks. Really.
Have you ever? I gotta ask, because this is something my mom always tells us about. Is God bless this woman. She raised 2 sons that are 14 months apart.
Yep.
All right. And we were animals, no question. I mean, she was able to get us in line. My dad was too, but like, we're still boys, and boys will be boys. There's almost nothing you can do about it. And talking about like, I'll give you something to cry about or something. Mm-hmm. My mom was never afraid. It's like you notice how parents are afraid to reprimand in public because they think that kids will, because they think it's not about their kids, it's about other parents.
Yeah, they
and how judging. My mom did not have that fear, not once.
Yeah, mine didn't either.
And we'd be shopping or whatever, and she would be like, "All right, you guys can go get the cereal," and then we come back with 6 items, and we throw them in the thing and run around the cart like animals. But I'm just thinking about how often, like, she had to like grab us by the wrists and be like, "Do you have any idea what's going to happen to you when we get home?" Because it's like she'll say it's smiling, so no one in public can see really what's going on. But it's that terrifying, like, "Hey, you guys are dead when we get home." That like, and the wrist grab, that firm wrist grab that only a mom can give you.
Oh yeah,
I just think of like that's. I mean, I'm not saying that's the difference in our generations, but that is one of the few things. I'm curious if parents still do that.
No, my mom, God bless her, she's no longer with us, but she could pinch you. It's like, oh God. She would just come, like I was doing something in public, and she just reached behind me and just pinched me in the side or something. Like,
yeah,
I'm dying.
And you knew you were in trouble.
Yeah, oh God, it was going to be worse. But also though, for my brother and I, my mom would also, if it got really bad at church, she would just put the bolo paddle on the pew. I kid you not.
Oh,
she just lay it on the.
Yeah, pew. I didn't have that. Nah, that's see, the misbehave at church thing is crazy.
Yeah, it was, and we didn't. I mean, we had a very high incentive not to, so it was way go.
Yeah, it was an incentive, but we got away with it though.
Well, I think you take care of yourself. I mean, you do, out there, for all of you listening to the podcast, wherever you're at, and if it's hot, common sense here. Okay, if you're outside, if you're on the beach, you're in the mountains, or you're in Texas, or you're working, just drink a lot of fluid. Make sure you got sunscreen on. Take take some precautions, and you'll be fine. What I have found, though, James, is the more I stay in air conditioning, the worse heat is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, now, if I'm out in it, and get hot, then it doesn't bother me near as bad. And again, I think that was what it was like when we were kids. So, I mean, as you go along here, you take this, it's what you get used to. And it doesn't make it any easier at times, especially for all those, God bless all those men and women out there working in the streets and, law enforcement, firemen, linemen, electrical workers, plumbers, builders, contractors. God bless you all, as you do it. But it is pretty wild. All right, moving right along from the heat and the stupidity, we've got to discuss the ESPYs. The ESPYs were last night. The full list of awards. I'm going to try and not go off on the issue of the United States women's national team being the Profile and Courage Award. I'm not quite sure about that one, but I will defer for now on that one. But I thought there was some interesting, discussions and awards that were given out last night. And I was interested to hear, James, from your perspective on this. Best UFC fighter, John Jones. I can agree with that one. I mean, there's some good ones, but John Jones he's pretty good.
I mean, it's just obviously he's had some
issues,
off the mat troubles, out of the octagon troubles. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, I don't follow it like I did like when I was in high school and stuff because all my friends were wrestlers and some of them still fight to this day. But I think it's just every time he steps in, you're like, oh, this is a wrap. He's he's a monster, and that first of all, that bloodline, that family, is just pure athletes. His brother Chandler is well, I don't know. Is Chandler still playing in the NFL? I don't know. But either way, I'm just saying, like, it is fascinating to see like someone like him who's been through, who's had a lot of time off, has had some. I guess I don't know if they're drug troubles. Like, I don't know if he was like severely addicted to cocaine or whatever the issue was or whatever he was taking. But like there was a lot of gap time between like his wins, and he just waltzed back in and was like, no, I'm the best, and I'm going to prove it to everyone.
Well, also we did Francis Ngannou is now going to fight and Fury. That's going to be an interesting.
I have such a disdain for that stuff. Like, I don't understand. I know it's look if Francis, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his last name. I don't want to botch it. Ngannou. Okay. Ngannou. If he gets a good payday out of it, then by all means, because I think I've seen that he didn't get paid or wasn't being paid correctly in the UFC, and like he's one of its top.
Well, he was, yeah. Well, I think there's a lot to go along there, but this crossover has never really worked. I mean, especially if you take a MMA fighter and put him in a boxing match. Now, if you put the boxer
he's got no shot.
It's just a whole different issue there.
And it would be the other way around, but no boxer is stupid enough to get in the octagon with a. What are they, out of their mind?
Yeah, that ain't gonna do that.
They weren't built to grapple.
Okay, let's get moving on. Some of these, I'm gonna get into your wheelhouse here a little bit, and this is basketball.
Sure.
Best comeback athlete, Jamal Murray, Denver Nuggets.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
When he went down, and when he went down and he tried to come back, he had a rough start, and he's always been a guy that was like fringe. Like he could be an all-star for sure, year in, year out, but also maybe he's not consistent enough, blah, blah, blah. Now, to come back in these playoffs and play the way he did and win a championship. Now, even if they didn't win a championship, I think he still would have won comeback player of the year, but to top it off like that was beautiful.
Well, and also best NBA player was Jokic. So that was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I lost you there for a minute. It's not even, it shouldn't have been up for debate either. He should have won MVP this year too, but I don't feel like arguing about nonsense. So,
well, that is it. Let's see. Patrick Mahomes, best NFL player, but he also got and I disagree with this one. I'm gonna have to be honest. He's a great quarterback, but best athlete men's sports, Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh, okay. Who are the nominees, by the way? Because I think if Jokic was in there, he could have been in there. I'm trying to think baseball-wise. Probably Shohei Ohtani would be the one, but he'll win it next year. So,
Ohtani was best MLB player. NHL player was Connor McDavid out of Edmonton.
Right.
Best driver, Van Stoppen out of F1. Messi, best soccer.
They take all the winners of. They have to take all the winners of those things, right? Because that would make you the best athlete,
I guess.
Because it would be weird if it's one of those categories and it wasn't like one of them. Listen, all right. Do you have a pick, or are you just saying you don't agree with it? I'm not trying to be.
Think of all the athletes in. It just again, and it's hard to go cross sports, okay? But just in football, Mahomes is. I guess when I think athlete, maybe I don't know. Is he top? Is he a top 2 or 3? Yeah, sure. Yeah, he's an athlete. He does he does amazing stuff on the football field. Don't get me wrong. But you got some of those receivers out there. Even his own like tight end Kelsey. You got.
So you're talking about in the literal sense of the word athlete.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
then, if it's literal sense of the word athlete, then it's anyone from the Olympics over all of those people.
Oh, John Jones. Let's talk about it. Anyway, I thought that was weird. But one that I want to hit on here a minute is. By the way, Justin Jefferson got best play for catch of the century.
Oh, did he? You mean the best catch you've ever seen in your lifetime?
Yeah, he got that.
Sorry.
All right, here's one I completely disagree with. I mean, you can start the chant now. I know we're getting into football pretty soon, but I'm just going to start it now. Overrated. Caleb Williams, USC, was voted best college athlete in men's sports.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
Okay.
I mean, just over this past year. I mean,
no, I know.
I don't. I mean, I'm tired.
I guess because I don't have a better one off the top of my head. If you do, please.
Bryce Young.
Well,
I mean, come on.
Okay.
Let's just go back to just best college football
Stetson
players.
Bennett. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'd have to agree with that.
I'm just kidding.
Our tight end at Georgia.
Oh, yeah, I'm blanking out.
And
if it's not a household name, they're not going to do it, and you know that.
Okay, here it is. It's just like the Heisman. I am sick of the Heisman. Okay, fine. I don't care about the Heisman. Heisman is a joke. Heisman is just start calling
it's a quarterback competition.
It's a quarterback award. Quit having
and it was a running back competition.
Yeah, I mean, so just quit. Because, I mean, the Anderson kid, the defensive Will Anderson out of Alabama, should have won the Heisman. Okay, he should have won.
They just won't do it. They just won't.
Well, then just quit calling it the best player in college football. I mean, quit calling the Heisman
the
best
player you want seen on the podium.
Yeah.
That's what you should call it, the player you want to see on the podium.
Call it the one that sports writers love to write about award, or something.
Doug, I think the Caleb Williams thing it's fascinating because next year there are teams that are, and I'm afraid the Vikings are going to be one of them, but there are teams that are going to tank you're going to look at them and be like, you're tanking intentionally, which is hard to see in the NFL. But there are teams that are going to go out of their way, look bad and terrible, and have the worst record so they can get Caleb Williams because they are certain he is going to be the future of the NFL. Like, that is how they are talking about him. The way, almost the way people say that Anthony Richardson could be. That conversation for 6 hours a day.
I mean, I'm
but what I'm saying is, they're talking about Caleb. So obviously people are seeing something like that. They saw it this year. But to me, the big reason he can't is because on the biggest stage, when people were like, "Hey, you got to be like, you got this is your moment." He kind of like floundered out, especially when he talked so much.
Both losses.
Yeah, he talked so much before that. Like he was. It was he said. So you know what? I'm forgetting it now.
Remember,
we talked about it then.
On his fingernails the F Utah.
That was it. It wasn't. He said something. It was that he did that gesture, and then they got beat up.
Oh yeah. Look, it is where it's at, and look for Caleb Williams. Look, you don't impress me. Something. This is just. Don't tell me you're all that in a bag of chips. And then, you go out there and you lay an egg, okay? You're sitting out there in the Pac-12, the easiest conference in college football. I don't care what the ESPN people will tell you so they can get you watching late-night ball games from the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is the AA of SEC. And I'm just sick of it. And then you send him out there, and everybody throws. Defense is unheard of for the most part. And, they play each other close games because they're all on the same level. And look, Lincoln Riley, put him in the same boat. I mean, look, it's just – but, again, you give him the best – I mean, it's just you could go almost any team. I mean, I would even go up to, the receiver Ohio State, who got hurt in the semifinal game. His dad played in the NFL.
Wait, did he win best college athlete?
Athlete.
Oh, I thought. Wait, hold on. He not best college football player.
No, he won best
do you know
college athlete, men's sports.
So there were no kids that were trying to get ready for the Olympics.
The pitcher.
I know that I'm not a stickler for the Olympics thing, but
I mean, the pitcher for LSU that just got drafted number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Actually, speaking of, sorry, go ahead.
No, look, give me a break. Caleb Williams. I mean, have you ever heard of Ryan Leaf?
Ooh, is that who you're comparing him to? Are you saying Caleb Williams is going to be Ryan Leaf?
Hey,
Doug, do we have you quoted on that?
I mean, you got to tell me what he's done.
He's done nothing yet, but neither have most of the quarterbacks that are going to get drafted and become gods.
But again, but don't tell me he's all world. Okay, Tom Brady changed football forever and was a nothing prospect out of Michigan when he came out. Okay, most of the quarterbacks that are quarterbacks in the NFL today, except for a few, came in middle rounds or not very highly touted. The NFL has a history of believing the hype on some of these college quarterbacks, and then they just don't pan out. And your best of your best, think about it. And I'm trying here to go back and look, and I'm not saying you can't find it, but think of a top 5 quarterback, that are that have become the rarity. The Peyton Mannings, the Eli Mannings, some of these quarterbacks are more of your outliers than they are the mainstream. I mean, think about what was the draft from 3 years ago when you had all the quarterbacks. How'd that work? How'd that work out for the Jets and the Giants and the Patriots and the Carolina Panthers? The one, I mean, right now he's still in a work in progress. Is down in Jacksonville.
Ooh, I wouldn't call him work in progress. That man's going to be. We're going to be talking about him next year. No, I hear you.
He's getting better and better. But again, think about that. Out of 5 or 6 or 8, quote, these are going to change the game quarterbacks, 1. That's all I'm saying.
No, you're right. We really don't. Well, here's the thing. You have to believe a lot of the time because the position is so impossible to fill. I mean, you look at, okay, here's an example, and this is hopefully comes off as unbiased as possible. But I will use the Vikings as an example, right?
Okay.
I don't think anyone would say Kirk Cousins is a bad quarterback. Bad is we've seen bad, okay? Bad is Baker Mayfield right now. Bad.
Who, by the way, undoubtedly is finding a home in Tampa Bay, it sounds like.
Yeah, but we all saw that offseason video. Bad was Johnny Manziel and bad is I mean we can go on forever. Christian Ponder was a bad quarterback. Okay. Kirk Cousins is extremely serviceable and if you look at his stats if you looked at his stats and then you saw the way people talk about him, you'd be like, that's insane. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. That is how difficult that position is that he has all the numbers. He has a lot of the attributes, and he still cannot win big games sometimes. And they still are looking for his replacement every day. Right. I'm just saying. And so that's my point is like, so that glimmer of hope of them seeing it in the Pac-12 that, look what he can do. He's going to be a superstar. And I'm rooting for him because I think the Vikings are going to try to get him. No, I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness, like I get that. Yeah, listen, they might. Hey, look, they got rid of a lot of people. But I get that. Like I get the wanting him to be great, and putting him on the ESPYs certainly helps. The ESPYs will do anything. I mean, to get attention, so they can get. But
it's just they're so desperate to have a media market in LA. Okay, let's just take this back. They're going to hump up and pump up USC, UCLA. They're dying for the days when USC Notre Dame was still a thing, and the USC had Charles White and all the the running backs, and they won a national title. Brady Quinn,
in Notre Dame.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it just doesn't happen, and they're. I mean, I get it to a point, and again, I'm hard on the Pac-12. I'm hard. The SEC's got a lot of their own stupid to deal with as well, but they're by and afar heads and shoulders above the other divisions. Big Ten, okay, I'll give you a little there with Ohio State and Michigan and some others, but when put head to head, SEC is dominant. Okay, and it's not just in football; it's in baseball and others as well. But again, I'm going to take it from a different perspective. I don't wish Caleb Williams bad. I don't. Okay. I just don't think he's the best college athlete, and number one, of any of the college athletes. I think they're putting too much pressure on him, and he could be a good, solid, possibly even Hall of Fame quarterback if put with the right team, with the right tools. But coming in, basically saying, again, this is. I'm anxious to watch. Well, I'm really not, but Anthony Richardson. I think they've done such a disservice for this kid. I do. I mean, I watched him at Florida. We played against him. I mean, he had one game against Utah last year, a couple other games against, none. And now they're putting him up as if he's the next Peyton Manning in Indianapolis.
Well, you're talking about that's what Indianapolis is the picture they're painting? Or
Yeah.
Well, of course they are.
But
they have to sell it to their fans. I'm not trying to be. I'm just saying,
Well, yeah, like why did we use the 4th pick in the draft to pick Anthony Richardson when we could have got him in the 38th pick of the draft in the second round?
I'm telling you, first of all, I just watched Anthony Richardson play pickup basketball, which if I was the Indianapolis Colts, I'd be like, get off the floor now. But he is an animal. You want to talk about pure athlete? He should have won Athlete of the Year. But that man is that human being is a peak physical form athlete.
Oh yeah, well, but that's like Metcalf, DJ Metcalf up at Seattle. I mean,
yeah, no, that guy's not human. DK Metcalf was created in a lab somewhere.
DK Metcalf is a freak. I mean, he's amazing to watch. I love to watch that man play football.
He's all heart.
He just plays. Anyway, so there's the ESPYs. Again, there's more controversial. I do not understand the Arthur Ashe Courage Award going to the United States Women's National Team for soccer, but hey, okay, whatever. As we look at it, I do like the Pat Tillman Award going to the Buffalo Bills and others.
That was emotional. I watched that video. That was emotional for Hamlin.
That was pretty good just to see that.
Can I just say something real quick because we were talking about sports and whatever. I mean, we were talking about the MLB. I think we mentioned the MLB draft for a moment. A kid from my hometown got drafted by the Boston Red Sox, Kyle Teal. So
outstanding.
Shout out to Mawa, New Jersey's pumping out athletes, baby.
There we go. I love it. All right, let's move on. One quick thing before we move off, and we got Coach coming next week. Can't wait to talk to Coach.
Yeah.
About
it's going to be a very good interview. I feel like because he's going to have a lot to say about what's happening right now, but I specifically am curious about how he feels about the running backs.
Well, and that leads in, great James. It leads into my question. Would you have thought we got this thing going? Would you believe? I don't think anybody would have believed at the beginning of free agency this year that Ezekiel Elliott, Dalvin Cook, and Leonard Fournette would still be free agents a week away from training camp open.
Well, Leonard Fournette's going to be the last one picked up. Let's be honest.
Probably so.
Right?
Yeah.
And for almost no money. And that's fine. He's not the same player he was. I get that. Even Ezekiel Elliott, to an extent, got a huge payday, but he hasn't played up to his standard or the standard that we set for him when he had a great couple first seasons.
Right.
But there is another man on that list that you mentioned, Dalvin Cook. And I have no idea. I brought this up before the show, and I'm going to bring it up again. If everyone knows from SportsCenter and NFL Network now is Rich Eisen. And he was talking about Dalvin Cook and how this is the most pivotal season for running backs in general. Is Dalvin Cook and Alexander Mattison example for the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings let Dalvin Cook go because they didn't want to pay him, I believe, something around $11 million, which is a lot of money in running back terms nowadays. The Vikings are like, we have Alexander Mattison. We think he's good enough, but we are giving up Dalvin Cook, who has been a consistent 1,400-yard runner. That is a lot of yards. Every year. That is a lot of yards every year. The guy is an absolute monster. But it doesn't matter because we don't want to pay him because that's too much money for a running back, and we think Alexander Mattison will fill those shoes in just fine. Do you know how crucial it is that Alexander Mattison plays great for himself, but but also for all the other NFL teams that are like, yeah, we'll just replace our running backs every few years. Like it'll be a guarantee. And if Dalvin Cook doesn't play up to par and is getting paid too much money, which I don't think he's going to get what he wants, it's just going to prove the NFL right.
Yep. I mean, it is going to be one of those things that you got to look at in the whole changing of the guard and how we deal with it and the desire. I mean, look, we've seen this in Major League Baseball. We've seen it in NFL now, that nobody can stand the technical game. Okay. Nobody likes the 6-3 or 13 or 14-7 defensive struggles. They want to see the 57-56, 3 overtime blowouts with no defense and everything else. And we're seeing it in baseball with the pitching clock and everything. Although I'm gonna have to say,
baseball's been great this year.
Baseball's been better. I mean, the pitch clock. I mean, when you're having 2.5-hour games and you can actually watch, and the statistics have not really changed. It didn't favor the batters or the pitchers. I mean, I think you saw a perfect game thrown this year.
It's been all positive. Every change they've made this season. Obviously, there was some before that were garbage. But this season, they made the right changes, and baseball couldn't be in a better place.
Except for the Mets, who don't know how to cheat right. So, but that's a whole different.
I don't know why you got to do that. There are so many reasons to just be kind, and you choose the low road, Doug.
Well, I'm waiting for Frank the Tank to come on the show. That's what we need.
That poor man. He's gonna have He's gonna have an actual heart attack. I'm worried about him.
I'm worried about Frank. We got to go get Frank. But anyway, as we come along, All-Star Game again, it does show that the All-Star Game has issues. But here's one for you, and I you can talk about balls, you can talk about bats, you can talk about strength of hitters, you can talk whatever. But it was interesting that Vlad Guerrero Jr. won the home run contest. His father won it.
Jesus.
Home run derby. His father won it like 16 years ago. 17 years ago.
Yeah.
And he hit more in his final round than his dad did, I think, in the whole derby.
Yeah, the rules have changed.
Yeah, it's just like something. I mean, ain't right here. I mean, this is just pretty.
Did you see a couple before that? The kid from the Mariners who had 41 in one round.
Yeah.
So you get. Did you know anything about the rules? Because I watched most of it.
No, I thought they're basically still the same.
So they get 3 minutes or 2 minutes and 30, somewhere between 2 minutes 30 seconds, 3 minutes. Now I'm actually blanking out on the number. But if you hit a home run 440 plus feet, you get 30 extra seconds, and you automatically get 30 extra seconds for no reason at all. And it's amazing. It is watching watching these guys hit for 3 straight minutes. They get like one break in between.
Yeah, they call a timeout or something. Yeah.
These guys are. I'm sorry. I was thinking about how hard it was to hit a home run with a metal bat when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Think about these are just grown men who spend their time just raking balls in the left field. These guys, and he did it he hit 41 in 4 minutes. Do you think you can hit 40 home runs in 4 minutes?
No,
because you're not a superhero.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing, and it's it. But again, also, like the old rules was you had 10 non-home runs.
You had 10, essentially 10 strikes /
10 strikes, yeah, and I think so that could have cut down. I mean, if you'd have probably applied that standard to several of these this year, they would have been out quicker. So, but anyway,
I think that's it. They want more home runs. By the way, did you see that kid get hit by a ball?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Doug, I know that it is hard to watch.
Yeah,
somebody get hit, but not for me.
Yeah,
I know that they're children, and I should feel bad. But anytime anyone gets hit by a baseball or something out of nowhere, as long as they're okay, it is the funniest thing I could think of. It's like watching somebody trip in public. I know that's horrible, and it happens to me more than it should.
Yeah,
but just that,
that happens at the.
I don't know. I can't help it. I come over and help, but I am the worst. I'll laugh right at you.
Yeah, that is pretty bad. Anyway, again, it was sad. Hopefully, the kid is doing better. But again, having that many kids out there is another problem too. So
there's like 700 kids.
Yeah, that's just a problem. But
you know what though? Can I just say this small thing? This is a culture shock from New Jersey to Texas. Do you know that they have they let the kids go chase like a small cow or a sheep in like those what's it, like cattle wrangling cowboy stuff? I don't know why I can't think of the word where
Like they do. Yeah, they got ropings and stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but why can't I think of the word for the cow? What? Oh my God! This. Thank you. Oh my God, Doug! Rodeos. I've been living here for almost 2 years. I can't even think of the word rodeo.
Yeah.
These adults let their kids, and these aren't like they're not like 15. They're like 9.
Yeah.
And there's about 20 or 30 of them, maybe more, and they just put them in the middle of the rodeo. And they release a wild animal, either a small cow or a sheep, and those kids have to take it down. It's the craziest thing I have ever seen in my life.
Let's go back to the very first start of this show when you said, what do the kids in Texas do? There you go.
Yep, I just found out. This was actually like my 3rd week here. I was like, let's go to the rodeo because I want to be a tourist.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I went to the least touristy rodeo. They have it every week. It's like a thing here where you actually go. It's in Fort Worth. Doug, if you've never seen it, please go watch Children Chase a Sheep. It is one of the funniest things I've ever watched.
Yeah, it's
totally worth it. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'll back up, but I thought about that when I saw that kid get clocked with a baseball.
Yeah, I got it. Well, it's pretty amazing. I mean, I got a lot of buddies, who do rodeo stuff. They do calf roping. They do, a lot of stuff. And I mean, it's still pretty amazing to me. They can come off a horse. They, can throw the rope, jump off the horse, throw down, and tie those legs in 6-7 seconds. I mean, it's just.
I don't even think I can get a rope near any live animal.
Yeah,
I can't even get one near my dog if I threw it at him.
It's pretty impressive. Moving on. Speaking of Dallas, I do have one to mention, and James can put some. We're going to put some pictures up from the Instagram. Dallas Animal Foster is a lady named Lauren Siller, Siler, Dallas Animal Foster under in Instagram. That's the Instagram account, Dallas Animal Foster. And I started following this. It's one of those things. Sometimes you see things pop up, James, and we always talk about dogs. Cree's made her appearances on here on the podcast. You talk about your dogs. The long story of this was that she was coming back from a trip, saw this at the animal foster shelter in Dallas, this dog named Annie. Annie was an older dog, I think 18, 19 years old. And the vet and the hospital had gave her just a few weeks or to a month to live. The family that owned Annie had turned her in, basically, I guess not wanting to deal with her dying or whatever. But anyway, they took her in, started feeding her, got her some help, and just, playing with her, letting her go walk. She lived for a year. And the Dallas Animal Foster Instagram site, you need to go take a look at. You'll see the pictures of Annie. Well, and on June 24th, she made a year. They were sort of giving, if you watch the Instagram account throughout the year, they say she made it to the 4th of July. She made it to Easter. She made it to Halloween. She made it to Christmas. She made it to, this. And she made it a year. And they had a party for her that she made a year. But it's been 2 weeks ago, and I said I wasn't going to get emotional about this. But Miss Annie, right after the party, passed away. And Annie had drawn a lot of attention to, the plight of foster dogs and others, and it was really there. But if you ever want something to cheer your heart and look at, is to see this Dallas Animal Foster Instagram page. Annie's gone. They're still promoting some stuff, from what Annie did. But it was just, sometimes on the internet, we talk about how much bad's out there. We talk about how much crud's out there. But then you run across a story like this that I followed for a year, and you were sort of always waiting. If they didn't post, a week, I was saying, okay, what happened to Annie? And then when that came across about 3 weeks ago, and Annie had passed away, it was, it's like a journey. And, for all of you who love your animals and stuff, just remember that, it's hard in the end, but stay with your animal, because they become part of you as well. And it's hard to let them go. And I've had to put down or had die, family. We had a cat that we had for almost 20 years. We've had, poor one of our animals who, had issues, and we had to, it got old and had to be put down. One of our cats who gotten in, it got hit. And those are tough. But those animals put so much into your life. Please don't let them go in the last. And I think that was my story about this. It was just, I wondered how Annie's family that gave her up, hopefully they saw that she had a good last year of her life, and that she loved life, and it, and it lasted longer than they would have thought. But again, James, I know a little sad, but also a good, just heartwarming story.
No, I mean, I don't know why you told me, so now I have to cry with you, but
it was, and I couldn't even
that
read
was, I just looked it up.
post.
I just looked at myself. I had seen him before.
Yeah, it was on some billboards in Dallas. There's some billboards in Dallas, and the TV station out there actually started picking up the story. And but anyway, I just wanted to put that out there for everybody.
I'm with you. The whole thing of like, we could talk about how important dogs are and cats and whatever animal that you have in your house, but for a dog to live that long alone is incredible. And the people who gave her up, I don't know your situation, but I had 2 dogs that I both lost to cancer early, and they didn't live very. First one lived to 4.5 years, the other one only to 6.5, 7 years. For your dog to live that long and for you to give it up, that is, I look, I don't know their situation, so I'm not going to rag on somebody I don't know, but you said it best, like, don't make sure you're there for that last breath, because it may hurt like hell, but they are the most. Listen, it's not, back in the day people were like, oh, it's a dog, shoot it out back, or whatever people used to do. That is not the world we live in anymore. And you can talk about how it's soft and all that. No. Our dogs are our best friends, mainly because they're not rude and they're not people. But it is. It's like, I think we've come to the conclusion now. We're like, oh yeah, no, cool. Jim from work is cool, but my dog actually cares and won't yell at me.
Exactly. It's pretty.
No,
wild.
I'm with you. That's for sure. That's a crazy story, and it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful story.
And,
folks, go see it.
Yeah.
It's on Dallas Animal Foster on Instagram.
Go adopt a dog today.
Yeah, go do it.
That's the lesson. Go adopt dogs.
Yeah, it's got to be where Lisa and I, as the kids have gotten older. I mean, Cree is like, we think of Cree like, how's Cree? I call home, I'm traveling. How's Cree? It's like,
Yeah, how's the dog? Of course, absolutely. It's a part. It's a 100% member of the family. Before
we go, in case you missed it department, only Tiger Woods could come up with this. Tiger Woods has designed a golf course that is 8,000 yards long, that includes a 275-yard par 3 and a 702-yard par 5.
I thought Tiger doesn't want to keep walking around. This is a pure golf cart golf course.
Exactly. Charlie's going to have to play this one. And by the way, if y'all have not seen some of the social media posts with Charlie and Tiger and Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, some of those guys, and Colin Morikawa, they're hilarious. Charlie,
the one where he's talking about Charlie out driving him is one of the funniest things.
Yeah, out driving him.
Because you can tell he's like between being a dad and being prouder and being like, there's no way I can let this happen.
No, they can't have it. Yeah. But look, I think Charlie, and I love the way it seems to be Tiger's working with him. He's not pushing, and he won a tournament in Florida, just a regular 9-year-old turn, 10-year-old turn, whatever his age is. And he won that, was low flight at the club. But, you don't see him that, they play together. When you see him, you see him with Tiger. To me, it's just a pretty cool vibe that's going on there. And I hope it is, going to last, because, look, the kid's playing as well as he's playing now. I mean, as he gets older, I hope he still loves the game and plays like his father. I mean, if he has any ability to play like his father, he'll go really, really far. But say
whatever you want, but his father, and hopefully he'll continue. His father is the only reason we still care. We care as much as we do about golf in this country. He just is.
Yeah, he is.
There's
And
a million great
John Daly,
players.
and John Daly.
Yeah, but John, of course. But if Tiger's on the tour, we don't care. No, you're right. John Daly's a national icon.
Oh my God, you got to love John Daly. I mean, that's all it is. All right, folks, we have successfully covered the gamut of world sports. We make Wild World of Sports and the old guy who was doing ski jumping who fell off the ramp look normal, because this is the Friday Finest show with Doug and James. Glad you were with us. We covered it all. We'll be back again to cover it next week. Remember, got Ken Gailey be on with us next week. Other things coming up. Don't want you to miss it here on the Doug Collins Podcast. We'll see you next time. Say goodbye, James.
Go adopt an old dog.
We're out of here. See y'all.